Welcome to this weekend's soccer betting show where I will go around some of the top leagues in the world and come up with some soccer predictions and parlays for those games. Now, whether you make some of the same bets or just use the info to make some of your own bets and go differently, hopefully all the information is useful. And if you find that it is, please give the video a like, subscribe to the channel. We're getting close to 2,000 subscribers, or become a member of the channel on YouTube. Visit the website or Instagram and always share whatever it is that you're betting this weekend down there in the comments. Let's start with Parlay 1 of 4. We have two leagues that are finishing up this week, their regular season, that being the Bundesliga and the EPL. Bundesliga will have their games on Saturday. Let's start with Bayern Leverkusen and Augsburg. Leverkusen winning streak has extended to 50 games with a 5-0 demolition of Bochum last week. Xabi Alonso's team is now just 3 games away from a perfect undefeated season. They have this game, the Europa League final, and the DFB Pokal final left. After cooling off just a little bit of late, Leverkusen have scored 5 goals in 2 of their last 3 games, and they've scored multiple goals now in 5 straight. There's nothing on the line for Augsburg here. They're sitting in 10th. They look like they've probably mailed it in recent weeks. They have losses of 1-0, 5-1, 3-0, and 3-1 in their last 4. Certainly, I would expect Leverkusen to win this game, but just to note, they did only win a 1-0 when they played Augsburg on the road earlier this season. Still, I think they're rolling. I think they just always find ways to win, and they want to keep that undefeated streak going. They're at home. Let's go Leverkusen to win. Next up, Dortmund and Darmstadt. There's nothing on the line for either of these teams. Dortmund are locked into 5th place. Darmstadt's going to be in the 2 Bundesliga next season. They're definitely getting relegated. Now, Dortmund could be forgiven for a 3-0 loss to Mainz last week after they did advance to the Champions League final before that, and knowing that a top 5 spot in the Bundesliga is good enough for Champions League play next season. Anyways, Darmstadt, wow, last week I thought they could at least get a goal at home, but they most definitely did not. I probably gave them too much credit, thinking they might show up in their last home game, and thought they could score against Hoffenheim, who never keeps clean sheets, playing at home in their last game. But they got blasted. They got scored on early and often, lost 6-0. They were down 2-0 within 6 minutes, 5-0 at the half. They had 0 shots on target. Hoffenheim scored on 6 of their 7 shots on target in that game. Darmstadt's been bad all season. At 0-9-7 and outscored 32-13 on the road. Now, while Dortmund don't need this win, they've already beaten Darmstadt 3-0 on the road this season. It also could be a good spot for them to get some confidence going, get a win before they need to play in the big Champions League final later on. I thought Darmstadt could score last week. They couldn't even manage 1 shot. So let's go Dortmund to win here for leg 2 of the parlay. And leg 3, let's go to Frankfurt and RB Leipzig. Frankfurt, they're looking to hold off Hoffenheim for 6th place with a strong finish in their last home game, while there's little on the line for Leipzig, who are locked into 4th. Frankfurt won 1-0 in January between them, but they only have 4 wins since that time. They have scored, though, in 4 straight. Bets on both teams to score have gone 4-0 in that time, and when they're playing at home. At home, they scored in 15 of their last 16 home games, Frankfurt have. For RB Leipzig, they have drawn back-to-back games now, 1-1, but they're still undefeated in 11 games. They've scored in 12 of 13. Bets on both teams to score. It's 4-0 in their recent games. And on the road for Leipzig games, bets on both teams to score have gone a perfect 14-0 of late. So let's continue with that trend here and go both teams to score. So Frankfurt, RBL, both teams to score. Dortmund to win. Leverkusen to win. Plus 110 in that 3-leg parlay. Parlay number 2. We'll stick in the Bundesliga and also go to La Liga as well. Number 1, Hoffenheim and Bayern Munich. Bayern looks to retain their place in 2nd right now and hopefully not get bumped by Stuttgart, though Hoffenheim is 7th. They're looking to at least hold on to their Conference League spot, with Freiburg just 1 point behind. They also have an outside shot at 6th place to pass Frankfurt for 6th in the Europa League, but they'll need a win, a Frankfurt loss, and to reverse a worse goal differential. Frankfurt is 3 points up. They have a +1 goal differential. Hoffenheim has a -2 goal differential, so it's not impossible, but the odds are against them moving up. Bayern won 3-0 earlier this season when these teams met, and while Hoffenheim did keep a clean sheet last week, like I just talked about in the preview previously, that was their first in 28 games, and it came against last place Darmstadt, who looked disinterested and overmatched. Their 64 goals allowed. It's 4th worst in all of Bundesliga, that being for Hoffenheim. Hoffenheim have scored in 7 straight, though, and they have 18 goals in that time. Bayern have conceded a goal in 5 of 6, conceded in 10 of 13, and they've conceded multiple in 4 of 5. So this certainly could be a good bet to go both teams to score in over 2.5, or Bayern to win in over 2.5. If you want Bayern to win and both teams to score as a good single bet, or simply in this parlay, let's ask Bayern to get at least 2 goals, and we'll go Bayern over 1.5. Next up, Stuttgart and Borussia Monchengladbach. Gladbach haven't won in 5 games, but they do have 3 straight draws. They have just 3 wins, though, in their last 20 Bundesliga games. They've done just enough, though, despite that terrible record, just enough to avoid a relegation. But the 63 goals allowed is better than only Bochum and Darmstadt and Hoffenheim in the entire league. Stuttgart may not get their second place above Bayern if Bayern can beat Hoffenheim, but they have lost just twice in 16 games. They've scored multiple goals in 12 of 16, and at home in the Bundesliga, they have just one loss. They're 12-3-1. They'll end here at home and surely want to give their fans one more big game, more to cheer for and celebrate after a great season for them. Overall, at home in all competitions, they're undefeated in 13 games. They have just one loss in 21 going back to last season, and they've scored 2 home goals in their last 4 and multiple goals in 10 of their last 12 at home. Gladbach did win 3-1 this season, and this head-to-head is usually goal-heavy. If we look at other score lines, there's score lines of 2-1, 3-1, 3-2, 1-1, 2-1, 2-1, and 2-2. Surely we could see goals from both. I'm just going to ask Stuttgart to get 2 for this parlay, and then we'll round it out with one game from La Liga in Spain going on to Sunday. It's Atletico Madrid and Osasuna. Atletico Madrid has won 11 straight games versus Osasuna, including this season's 2-0 road win. But not only does Osasuna usually lose against Atletico Madrid, they often don't even manage to get on the score sheet. If we look back at the past recent head-to-heads, Atletico Madrid has outscored them in those 11 games by an incredible 28-3 margin and have shut them out in each of the last 5 straight games. If Atletico Madrid win, Girona slip up away to Valencia, Madrid could move up to 3rd in the standings as well. Atleti have been near spotless when playing at home at the Wanda. They're 16-1-1, scoring 41 goals and allowing just 18 this season in La Liga. In all competitions, they have just 2 losses in 37 at home as well. Now, they've won 4 straight, score lines of 3-0, 1-0, 1-0, and 3-1. They probably should win here in their last home game of the season versus an Osasuna team that's winless in 6. They have 1 win in 9, and they've given up multiple goals in 6 of 9. I'm just going to ask Atletico Madrid to win, and with that game coming on Sunday and the other 2 on a Saturday, you do have the added bonus of if those first 2 legs of the parlay hit. This one could be a good option to cash out if you want to, if Atletico Madrid do get up early in that game. So Stuttgart to score 2, Bayern Munich to score 2, Atletico Madrid to win. That will come in at plus 133 odds. Now let's move in to the Premier League on Sunday in the last match day here. It's Man City and West Ham. The 4th straight EPL title is 1 win away for Pep Guardiola and City. They've won 6 straight. They've outscored their opponents 18-1 in those games. They look to be rolling in to this game in great form to clinch that title. They have just one UCL loss, Champions League loss against Real Madrid in their last 34 games. Meanwhile, West Ham is 9th. They're not moving up. They're not moving down. They beat relegation-bound Luton 3-1 last week. They had been winless in 6 games prior to that. City won 3-1 this season when they last met. They've won the last 3 versus West Ham, and they haven't lost at home to the Hammers in any of their last 8 games going back to 2015. City is the only team with 0 home losses this year in the EPL at 13-5-0, and they have the best home goal differential as well at plus 33. I don't see that changing here when they're 1 win away from the title. Let's go Man City to win, but also ask them to score at least 2 goals. Man City to win plus over 1.5 for leg 1 of this parlay. Leg 2, Liverpool and Wolves. Nothing on the line here for Liverpool. As a team, they're locked into 3rd place, but it will be manager Jurgen Klopp's final and last game with the team. That alone should give the Reds motivation to get one more win for their legendary manager that's had so much success with them in his time here in Liverpool. Liverpool have the best home record in the league at 14-3-1. They've scored 47. They've allowed just 17. Wolves are 13th, and they could maybe finish 10th in the top half, but they would need to jump 3 teams above them. Liverpool won 3-1 away in September when these teams last met. Wolves have just 1 win in 10 games, and they're coming off 3-1 and 5-1 losses. They could very well have their bags packed and be ready for the offseason. I can't see Liverpool not winning here at home in Klopp's last game. Certainly Liverpool to win. That's what's going into my parlay, but you could ask them to score maybe 2 or 3 or to win by 2 or 3 if you wanted a straight bet. Leg 3 of this parlay, Sheffield United and Tottenham. Tottenham is not an easy team to trust. They have just 1 win in 6, and they have given up 14 goals in those 6 games and multiple goals in 5 of 6. And playing Sheffield hasn't been an easy this season for them, as Sheffield won at home 1-0 in the FA Cup, and Tottenham won just 2-1 at home in the EPL. There's 6 teams below them in the table have actually given up fewer goals than Tottenham, but obviously Sheffield is not one of those teams. They have, in fact, given up an incredible 101 goals. They've cracked the century mark in goals allowed, while also only scoring 35, the fewest goals for as well. They haven't won in any of their last 13 games. They have 1 win in 18, and their last week's 1-0 loss to Everton was the first time they didn't give up multiple goals in their last 10 games. It's their last game, their last home game in the EPL for who knows how long, so perhaps they rise up. And like I said, you can't always trust Tottenham, especially defensively, but it's still unlikely to produce a good defensive result. Can't see Sheffield suddenly deciding to start playing good defense in the last game here. Spurs have been, they do have something to play for. A loss and a Chelsea win could see them drop out of 5th and out of that Europa League spot. So let's go Tottenham to score at least 2 goals. Tottenham over 1.5. So Tottenham over 1.5, Liverpool to win, Man City to win, and over 1.5 goals for Man City. Not going to pay a whole lot, but it does look pretty straightforward at minus 154. And let's do one more parlay in the EPL on Sunday for this last Premier League match day. Chelsea and Bournemouth. If Tottenham stumble to Sheffield and Chelsea beat Bournemouth, the Blues could still jump to 5th. And Bournemouth, at best, could be hoping to jump from 11th to 10th, so not much on the line other than perhaps a top 10 finish. It was 0-0 between them in September, but Chelsea hasn't played in a game with that low of scoring in some time now. They won 2-1 in Brighton Wednesday, and they've now won 4 straight games. They've scored 12 goals in that time. In their last 19 games in all competitions, they have only lost to Liverpool, extra time in the League's Cup, Man City in the FA Cup, and Arsenal in the EPL, so 3 top teams there. They've also scored multiple goals in 13 of 15 games, only failing to do so versus Arsenal and Man City. That could continue here. Bournemouth lost 2-1 and 3-0 in recent games. They have just 2 wins in 7, and they've given up multiple goals in 5 of their last 7. So let's ask Chelsea to score at least 2. Chelsea over 1.5 for leg 1. Leg 2 of this parlay, Burnley and Nottingham Forest. Nothing's on the line here, so maybe we could see an open game. Nobody's playing for much. Forest have secured safety, while Burnley know they're going down, so maybe they are just looking to put on a show at home for their home fans in their last game. Burnley may only have 2 wins in their last 20 in all competitions, which obviously is very, very terrible, but have scored in 9 of their last 10 games, so they are at least usually getting on the score sheet. While Forest haven't been in any better form, really. They only have 2 wins in 13. They've allowed a goal in all of those 13, also in 17 of 18, and multiple goals in 5 of their last 6. Surely Burnley at home here, playing free and open, can get at least 1 goal on them here. And I'll take a similar approach with Luton and Fulham. Even a win by Luton and a loss for Forest is not likely enough for Luton to save themselves, even though they're not technically relegated. Forest has a goal differential of minus 19, Luton minus 31. So they are all but done here, barring a complete and utter collapse by Forest and an absolute rout Luton puts on Fulham. All that's left to go out here is go on a high, at least give their fans at Kenilworth Road something to cheer for. Hopefully goals at least. That's what I'm hoping for in my bet. 1 goal is something Luton has done in 6 straight games, in 20 of 21, and in 18 of 20 home games in all competitions this season. Fulham are 14th with nowhere to go. They have 1 win in 8. They have kept a clean sheet in their last 2 road games. But prior to that, they had given up a goal in 15 straight on the road. Much like the last game, I think Luton, even if they don't win, can at least get 1 goal at home playing in their last Premier League game here. So let's go Chelsea to score at least 2, Burnley to score, Luton to score, coming in at minus 108 in that parlay. Those are 4 different parlays covering 12 games across the Bundesliga, the Premier League, and 1 La Liga game. That'll wrap up the EPL in the Bundesliga seasons. We still have more La Liga, Serie A, and other leagues going, so stay tuned to the channel for more soccer picks in MLS this weekend and the rest of that season, as well as the Europa League final coming up this week, and much, much more. Whatever you're betting this weekend, though, good luck, and let's cash some tickets.